Your spirit guides are here with you 24/7. They are all around you, even if you can't sense them. Have you ever wondered how you can connect with them? Your spirit guides are here to help you overcome any challenges you're having, any area of your life that you're dissatisfied with. So what areas of your life are you dissatisfied with? I'd love for you to take a moment and write them down. Maybe you're dissatisfied with how much money you make, or the kind of work you're doing. Or maybe you don't want to be an employee anymore. You want to have your own business. Or your relationship. You wish your spouse was more supportive and loving towards you. Or maybe you just want to grow spiritually. Like you haven't gotten the spiritual growth that you want. Whatever area of your life that you're dissatisfied with, your spirit guides want to help you in overcoming those challenges and turning those dissatisfactions to satisfactions. From unhappiness to happiness. They want to help you. Your spirit guides come specifically to help you with any area of your life that you're not happy with. But what you need to understand is behind every one of those areas that you're unhappy with, that you're dissatisfied with, you have a limiting belief, a fear, or an emotional wound, or all three that have been stopping you from being able to change that and transform it so that you can actually be satisfied and happy in that area of your life. And your spirit guides are here to help you heal emotionally, change those limiting beliefs, and grow spiritually so that you can actually have that happy and fulfilled life. Would you like that? I'd love to see you put that in the chat, what you would like to see transformed in your life, what area of your life that you are dissatisfied with, what you'd like to see it in rather than what you're having right now. Because your spirit guides are here to help you. Okay. Now this is a 3-part series. This is part 3 of a 3-part series. And so if you haven't checked out part 1 and part 2, check out the links. They will be up there and also in the show notes in the description if you want to just go there and look at them later. Because it's so important that you understand what's been keeping you from realizing the presence of your spirit guides, and most importantly, realizing the guidance and the blessings that they've been trying to give you, but you haven't recognized because you don't know how to connect with them. Once you understand what you're doing that is keeping your spirit guides at bay, which is what I cover in part 1 of this 3-part series, and then what you need to do to become aware of them, which is in part 2, then it's time for you to strengthen that connection that you have with them. So that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. What strengthens your connection with your spirit guides. We're going to talk today about what strengthens your connection with your spirit guides so you can actually receive the higher consciousness guidance and the blessings from them so that you can have that faster transformation and actually make a difference in your life so that you have a happy, fulfilled life. So we're going to talk with you about 6 main things that strengthen your connection. The last 2 are the most important. So hang on to the end and make sure you get those last 2 because those are the most important ones that really transform your connection with your spirit guides. Okay? So the first thing you want to get to help you connect with your spirit guides is a physical representation. Now, you see all behind me, these are spirit guides I've created. I've created even more. You may have something different. You may have a photo, a painting. If you want one of mine, feel free to go check out my website, deepaloo.com. But you want a physical representation. Now, why is that? Why is a physical representation so important about connecting to your guides? Because one of the most important things on the spiritual path is remembering. Right? Remember I said your spirit guides are with you 24/7, even if you can't sense them? Now, when you go throughout your day, you're probably not thinking about your spirit guides, right? And then most likely, you're not even connecting with them for several days, or because you're new to this, you may have never connected with them. But when you have a physical representation, it reminds you. And remembering is one of the most important things on the spiritual path. Because when it's an unseen force, which spirit guides are, and spiritual truth is, it's really hard to remember because we've been programmed to believe in what we see with our naked eyes rather than the spiritual truth, which is unseen forces. And so we need to have physical representations to remind us of spiritual truth. And if you're wanting to connect with your spirit guides, it will help you if you have something that's physical that reminds you of your guides, so that when you see it, you go, ah, yes, my spirit guides are with me 24/7. They're here now. Even if I'm not recognizing the guidance or I'm not sensing them, I know they're here. And you can connect with them through that portal, that doorway. Mine are all created as portals, doorways to divine presence. So, but whatever physical representation you need, highly recommend you get one. Okay, so that's one. Two, the other thing you need is to commune with them consistently. Okay? And one of the great things about when you have a physical representation is that when you see it, you can actually make a conscious intention to, like, I'm connecting with my spirit guide. Because you want to connect with them on a regular basis, not just once in a while. Because your spirit guides are your friends. They're my friends. You know, friends help you out. Friends want the best for you. That's what your spirit guides want for you. And so if you had a friend that you only saw once every 10 years, how close would you be? Now, if you were a childhood friend, you might still feel close. But most people, if they just meet somebody and then they just don't talk to them for another year, you don't feel close, right? And you're just starting to meet your spirit guide, so you need to think about that, okay? So the consistent communing with them, connecting with them, makes it stronger, okay? The physical representation makes it stronger because it reminds you to connect, to make an effort, okay? So you want to have some kind of consistent connection, and not just when you have a problem. Now, your spirit guides are unconditional love, okay? But if you want that to be a deep connection where you trust that guidance you're getting, you have to consistently connect with them. Just like any friend. The friends you connect with more, you typically trust more. Isn't that right? Yeah, I'd love to hear that from you. Okay, so that's the second thing. The third thing that most people don't know at all is that you have to know how you're wired. Your wiring is so important in strengthening your connection with your spirit guides. And you might be thinking, what do you mean by wired? I've had people ask me that. What do you mean by wired? It's how you naturally are in the world, how you came in when you were born. And a lot of people, I know I wasn't, haven't been honored and supported in the way that you're naturally wired. So, for instance, I'm an empath. I say that all the time, okay? So I'm an empath, I'm highly sensitive. And when I was young, my father said all the time, stop crying, I'm going to give you something to cry about. Now, he probably thought that was going to toughen me up and make me, stronger in the world, but it didn't, because my natural way of being is I'm very emotional and I cry easily. And so him telling me not to cry made me not love myself the way I am. And I kept trying to be different than I was. And so when I was sensitive to things, he'd always say, you're too sensitive. And so I kept trying to not be sensitive. Are you that way at all? Because if you're highly sensitive or an empath, you might have heard some of that. Okay? So that was going against my natural wiring. And so I didn't love and accept myself completely because I'd been programmed to think that something's wrong with being sensitive, something's wrong with crying. And so I had to actually start to learn how to be with myself of like, it's okay to cry. It's okay to be sensitive. My sensitivities are my superpowers. I had to develop that self-love for myself. And it's something I'm still working on. I don't have it 100%, but it's so much better than it was before. And so, it's one of the things I want to help you on your journey is to help you love yourself exactly the way you're wired. And the reason why this is so important for your connection with your spirit guides is because your spirit guides usually come in the way that you're naturally wired. So for me, I didn't know they were my spirit guides back then, but I'm feeling oriented, and so my intuition, which came from my spirit guides, would come in my feeling nature, and I didn't understand that. It took me a long time to realize, but I knew I had this gift. I had this gift of being able to go to like places that were really busy in cities or any place else where lots of people go for an event and you're trying to look for a parking spot. You know how you're looking, and they're all taken? Well, I could always feel where the parking spot was. I could like feel like turn left, turn right, there's the spot, and there it was. And so I didn't understand that my spirit guides were trying to communicate to me through my feeling nature, being an empath. And so now it's changed and transformed, and now they come to me in different ways. But that was how it began. And so when I was going against my natural wiring at first, I would discount those feelings. I would just say, oh, no, that can't be true. Oh, that can't be true. And I would doubt it. And so if you want to have that stronger connection with your guides, in your intuition, you want to honor the way you're wired, and that involves knowing how you're wired, but also accepting it and honoring it, loving yourself that way. Easy to say, I know, challenging to do, okay? And I'm going to talk a little bit here, a little later, about something that can help you with that. The fourth thing, I've gone 1, 2, 3, yeah, we're on 4. 4, you have to know the language of your spirit guides. Your spirit guides come in, and a lot of people are waiting for your spirit guide to come and speak whatever language you speak. So if you're English speaking, which you're listening to this, I'm assuming you are, but that might not be your native tongue, okay? But if you speak English, you're expecting, there'll be a voice that you can hear with your ears that they're telling you exactly what to do. And they're going like, point 1, do 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what a lot of people think they want. And that is not how your spirit guides speak to you. They speak to you in a symbolic language, a feeling nature. It could be a visual. It could be something that comes in nature. It could be in all these different forms. Like mine came in through my feeling nature, but it's symbolic. And so there's a process for you to learn how to translate what all that symbology means. And so consequently, you don't know it in a matter of like one hour class or a 1-day class, because it's an ongoing practice that you have to have with your spirit guides to connect with them, to have that deep connection where you trust what you're getting and you act on it. Because that's what trust is. That's what faith is. When people tell me that they have faith and they're always in fear, or they have faith and they don't ever act on their intuition, I say, if you're not acting on it, you're not trusting and you don't have faith. And so you want to develop that. What a deep connection is that you trust it so much that even if some fear comes up, you're going to act on it anyway. So you have to learn how to translate the language. And so an example of that I think it was Carolyn Mace. I could be wrong on the person, but she's a medical intuitive, and she would see symbology things that would come to her, and like, I don't remember which one it was. I think it was if she saw cement, it meant maybe they had cancer. Now, I can't remember for sure what it was, but I want you to understand, she started to learn, learned from her practice in doing it that, these certain things mean this. And that's what we have to help you with, is that you have to start to learn the language that your spirit guides are speaking to you and become a good translator. And that's what happens as you start to be able to translate, especially like it might not be something visual. Mine are senses of feelings that I sense, and I have to translate what that feeling is and what it means. And so that's the same for you if that's how it starts to come to you. Okay, so it's the language. So the two most important things, we're going to talk about first this one that is really important, and there's another one that really makes your connection strong with your spirit guides. The fifth one is change your subconscious programming. You have to change your limiting beliefs that have you not believing in spirit guides, that have you thinking that you're a certain way or a certain thing or something's wrong with you, okay? Because your subconscious programming wants to keep everything the same, safe, and secure, and believes what it can see with its in the physical world with your eyes. They need like proof. So that subconscious programming that you have has to be changed. You need to reprogram yourself to spiritual truth from all those false limiting beliefs. You have to go to spiritual truth. We have to understand what your most pervasive fears or limiting beliefs are. So you don't have to change every limiting belief you have. You have to change the most pervasive ones, which are the ones that have come from the emotional wounds you got as a child. So before the age of 7, everything you heard, overheard, experienced, or was said to you programmed your subconscious mind. So if when you were little you heard all the time, money doesn't grow on trees, you think, oh, money's limited, there's not enough, that's what you've been programmed with. And so you have to change that. If you've been programmed with, that's not logical, if you can't see it, then it's not true, then that's another form of I'll believe it when I see it. And that's going to make it so you're not going to connect with your spirit guide. So we have to change that programming. But amongst those pervasive most pervasive limiting beliefs are the emotional wounds behind it. And that's where healing is involved. You have to heal those emotional wounds. Now, healing is about letting go. And what helps you heal? Higher consciousness, which is your spirit guides, can help you. Healing helps you, like when you actually start to understand spiritual truth, and you start to understand that, oh, what your parents taught you isn't true, and you start to change the programming in your subconscious mind, then that starts to change your connection with your guides, starts to change everything in your life, not just the connection with your guides, okay? Because the emotional wounds have to be healed so that you'll let them go. Now, on top of those emotional wounds, we have to change the neural pathways in your brain. Yogananda used to always talk about you get these grooves in your brain if you've done something one way for many years. And what he's talking about, those grooves, you've watched yourself, right? Maybe you're driving to work or you're driving your kids to school or whatever, something you've done a lot, and you'll be thinking, and all of a sudden you see yourself going somewhere, you like drop the kids off at school, but you really didn't want to do that. You wanted to go to the grocery store. And so that's what happens, a groove. And that happens with emotional wounds. If something's been traumatic or you have an emotional wound, and even if you've healed it and let it go, some people will tell me, well, I've healed it, I really feel like I let it go, but I still see that I'm having like some of the behaviors. Why is that? And I say, well, because your neural pathways have been firing off in that direction for how many years? And so we have to develop new neural pathways by using repetition. What do you want to repeat? Spiritual truth. Sometimes people use repetition of other things that I'm like, well, you don't want to use that repetition. That's not truth either. So you want to study spiritual truth so you can have deeper understanding. And when you have that deeper understanding, then you want to use that and use repetition of what you say to yourself, repetition of thoughts that you have that are of this spiritual truth, so you can create new neural pathways in your brain. And then the last part that changes your programming is your experiences that you have. We really learn by experiences, not by just getting more information. Information can help if you study it and you start to really have deep understanding of it. But just getting more information isn't going to help you. It's about getting deeper understanding. In fact, I tell people, if you've been on the spiritual path a long time, there is no new. It's about taking the spiritual truth and having deeper understanding so that you can apply it more effectively in your life. So experience, you have to do something different. You have to have a different experience. You have to do something new. And that experience is going to be more impactful if there's more emotion involved with it. And here's the other thing, not just emotion, but a community of people on a similar journey. So if you're wanting to connect with your spirit guides, to do it with other people, what happens? You've got more than just your energy. You've got the synergy of other people's energy, and that multiplies the power of the energy, and that makes transformation faster. And so you want to have an experience of how you can bring, community together. And it's one of the things I'm doing in my Connect to Your Self-Love Spirit Guide program, because I know that the synergy of people coming together, even if it's just you and me, that's still synergy. It's more than one person. It's two people. And then if we had 3, 4, 5, now, then makes even stronger. And then your transformation can happen faster. Your connection with your spirit guides, when you start to have this synergy of not just your own desire, but the desires of everybody's to like connect with your guides, it creates a faster connection. Also helps the healing process. And that's why with my Connect to Your Self-Love Spirit Guide program, it's going to be a healing and a spiritual experience. It's all about connecting to your guides, but also healing whatever you need to heal, those emotional wounds and beliefs, so that you can actually have that connection and transform your life. Because connecting to your spirit guides is not about having a parlor game like, ooh, look what I can do. It is about, they want to come in and help you transform your life. All those dissatisfactions that you've acknowledged, and change them into things that you're happy and fulfilled about. Okay? Now, here's the last one that's also very important about how you connect and strengthen that connection with your spirit guides. It was just the thing that Mother of Love told me about, that was one of the most important things, was self-love. In fact, I have a self-love spirit guide, his Mother of Love, and here she is. And Mother of Love said that self-love is the most important kind of love, because you have to, the love starts with yourself. You have to love yourself and transform you, and then you can help love and transform other people, the world. And so by loving yourself, you're like helping the tipping point. As each person, as you transform your self-hatred, your dislike of yourself to self-love, you're helping not only transform your life, you're helping to transform the world. And your self-love spirit guide wants to help you with that. And so connecting with that self-love spirit guide is what's going to help you, one, have a deeper connection to all your different spirit guides, because you have more than one, but also transform your life so that you actually are happier, more successful, because, right, if you've come up with the things you're dissatisfied with, you'd like to see those changed, right? And so what I was guided was that, oh, you need to connect with your self-love spirit guide so that you can start to see where you need to love yourself, what you need to let go of and heal, what needs to be transformed in your belief system. Now, there are other guides that are here to help you, but this self-love spirit guide says that she's the one that's going to get to the core of the issues that have been holding you back. And so you want to connect to her. Now, I've shown you my self-love spirit guide, but you have one too. And it most likely looks different than my self-love spirit guide. So I would love to see you connect with your self-love spirit guide. If you'd like to take part of my Connect to Your Self-Love Spirit Guide, please check out my program that's happening. I'm going to put a link in the show notes if you want to check it out. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm going to be putting also my link of a connection call of deepalulu.com/gift so that you can connect with me if you have questions about it. You can also put them in the comments. I'll answer them. But if you'd rather have like a more private connection to find out more if this program is for you, please feel free to connect with me. Okay? And I'll see you in the next video.